This is KBTV-9 Denver, Colorado, and it is time now for the KBTV afternoon news for this Wednesday, May 29th, 1957. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Peter Wiggins, and here's what's happening. In Denver, a voluntary lie detector test was taken at the Denver Police Department Wednesday by Fulke Johnson, a Morgan County farmer whose wife died May 20th in a blast from a shotgun. Results of the test were not announced. Our coroner's jury ruled that Mrs. Frances Johnson, 48, died as a result of a wound from a gun in the hands of her husband, but did not say wherever the charge was fired accidentally. Johnson, 50, died not testify at the inquest, but told officers that the time of the shooting that was shown to the shotgun and neighbor. Donald Hogan, 35, Johnson said he thought that the gun was not loaded and he snapped the trigger just as he wife entered the basement room of their home near Wiggins. Johnson was accompanied by Denver Bar's attorney Errol Hofke, Sherman Watrud, Morgan County District Attorney Jerry Sink, Under Sheriff Anthony Herinsky, Assistant Chief of Police at Fort Morgan, and Art Lawson, a son-in-law. Walmart emphasized that no charges have been filed against Johnson and that the lie detector test was taken voluntarily. Two Cheyenne boys, one 13 years old and the other 15, were taken into custody while driving around Greeley in a stolen car by Police Sergeant Carol Long about 5:35 a.m. Wednesday. Long said Clyde Petticoat of 3727 11th Avenue had stopped him at 7th Street and 9th Avenue and reportedly seen two boys draining gasoline out of the holes of a service station pump at 11th Avenue and 7th Street. Petticoat said the boys were in a late model car and had just gone south of 8th Avenue. Sergeant Long had reported that he had spotted the boys' car at 8th Avenue and 10th Street and observed the driver kept changing from one traffic lane to another. They were confessed. At 8th Avenue and 11th Street, boy driven given a signal for a left-hand turn, then when the signal light changed, made a fast right-hand turn. Long stopped the boys' car at 9th Avenue and 11th Street. He reported that the two youths were nervous and refused to talk. The younger youth admitted that, however, they were runaways from Cheyenne. Washington. The Senate Rackets Investigative Committee announced Tuesday that will begin public hearings set next Tuesday on alleged misuse of union funds by certain international officers of the Bakers Union. Chairman McClellan, Democrat of Arkansas, said the committee will quiz Dave Beck Jr., son of the Teamsters Union president, and two other witnesses who had as investigators had a long chase before they were subpoenaed.
You should never use when you're naked.
A former Greeley mayor, W. Anderson, who now resides in Pasadena, California, attended a city council meeting Tuesday evening and spoke briefly to the council. Anderson, who served as mayor between 1951 and 1952, had many changes that had taken place for the last 25 years. While he served as mayor in 31 and 32, observing he was unacquainted with most of the president's council members. The former mayor had read a list of officials who had served the city during his administration. In addition to Anderson, the councilmen at the time were Ray Matthews, George Struble, Frank Barber, L.B. Carroll, R.T. Bishop, and E.S. Christensen. The former mayor also recalled that Glenmere Park had started during his administration when a few trees and some shrubs had been placed there. However, Anderson had never anticipated the park would be developed like it has been. He had said he understood it was one of the 6 most beautiful parks in America for its size. A parking design for the 7th Avenue Street parking lot will be developed by the city was approved by City Council Tuesday evening. The design approved promised for angular parking spaces for the vehicles with 3 entrances to the lot from 7th Street and 3 exits from the lot from the alley at the rear of the property. The traffic lanes leading further to the lot from the entrances to the cars will be each 15 feet wide. 2 double rows of parking spaces, a well surrounded by 4-foot wide sidewalks will be presided between the 3 traffic lanes and single rows of parking spaces at the west and east sides of the lot. The design approved was one of the 10 possible plans prepared for the council's inspection by city engineer George Phillips. Phillips said that the suggested parking designs would have been worked out with an intent to permit in the launch of a number of cars possible to the park to the 150 by 115-foot lot and still allowed sufficient room for drivers and engine to leave the lot with ease. City Manager R.H. Cruz disclosed during the discussion of the design that traffic in the alley had been in the lot to be reversed shortly instead of vehicles moving from east to west in the alley. At present, they will be traveled from west to east, he said. Cruz also reported the outdoor billboard company had offered to put up billboards at its own on the 7th Street parking lot and on a second parking lot in the city plans to develop on 7th Avenue. However, he said that the rental price The billboard company had offered to pay for using only property was very little. As a result, the city manager recommended the council take me up regarding billboards and the bill kids at the time.
Illegal drugs.
Renewal is another 5 years. Our water contract between the city and the Great Western Sugar Company was approved by City Council Tuesday evening. The contract covers water that the Great Western Sugar Company purchases from the city for use of its factory here and the factory at Windsor. City Manager B.H. Chris told the council that they accept the water rates. The council extension agreement was almost identical in wording with previous extensions. The new agreement ran from July 1st of this year to June 30th, 1962. The new sales anticipated in the contract are the same as they're being paid by other big water users outside the city, such as pipeline companies. Cruz told the council. Under that contract, the change will range from 30 cents per 1,000 gallons for the first 100,000 gallons used for 18 cents per 1,000 gallons for all over 1 million gallons used. The company will pay 7 cents per 1,000 gallons per water used for the factories during the campaign.
That's what illusion is. That's what it is.
Yes! What? Washington, the House Wednesday brushed aside President Eisenhower's protest that the amount was too little and too voted $33.5 billion by the Armed Services and Defense Department. The bill was passed by a roll call of vote of 365-1. The lone dissenting vote was cast by Representative Canfield, Republican in New Jersey. House passing the bill occurring $2.654.2 billion less than the president had asked, tossed on the Senate by the measure and the contention by Eisenhower that at least $1.2 billion more is essential to national security. Before the vote on the final passage, the House rejected 212 to 131 on the roll call. Republican motion that the bill would be returned to the committee with instruction to add about $313 million. The vote kept to the series of losses by the European Senate votes in which they would try to add various amounts to the bills. By Senate, Senate 33 by Senate vote of 137-133, the House defeated the Republican upon amendment to give the Army $4 million for research and development and said that the $382 million recommended by the committee. The amendment was one of the series drafted by the Republican leaders in an attempt to increase the $33.5 billion bill by the $323 million for a sip of $1.2 billion. President Eisenhower Wednesday added. The committee cut a total of 2% bill and also 2.5% from the bill. The House refused to Tuesday and to give the Army an extra $50 million for maintenance and operations. And it acted on both amendments as well as the others. That may be rejected later. It's subject to the roll call vote. Probably later Wednesday there's a vote. The GOP leaders were put in their hopes for eventual victory, but they drew little surface from. The next vote Tuesday went rejected the first move by a standing out count of 145-113 in Woodman, giving the Army an extra $50 million for the maintenance and operation, restoring more than half of the $150 million chopped out by the committee. Republicans got a double setback in the vote, and they failed to pitch up as many Democratic votes as they had coasted on, and they lost more than their own members than they anticipated. Only 7 Democrats were standing and supported the amendment, while about 20 Republicans opposed it. Washington, Georgia M. Humphrey Wednesday resigned as Secretary of the Treasury. Robert B. Anderson, former Deputy Secretary Defense, was picked to succeed him. Humphrey's resignation was announced by the White House police. A letter from the Secretary of the Treasury to President Eisenhower asking to be relieved, but later disclosed in the current congressional session. At the same time, Eisenhower formally sent into the Senate its nomination of the Anderson government. Top fiscal post, I understand the Texas Democrat has served as a Secretary of the Navy and in the Arizona administration as well as Deputy Secretary of Defense. Eisenhower left the effective date of Humphrey's departure up to the air. In a letter accepting the resignation, the President told Humphrey there are a number of critical problems to be considered during the session of Congress and added, until the bulk of that have been satisfactorily resolved, I deeply believe that you and experience and the covenant that you enjoy as the government will be the great assets in the region and best answers. Consequently, you take your turn over the duties as successful will be with a limit dictated somewhat by circumstances.
To reduce the risk of DDT and PE. With Xarelto, there is no regular blood monitoring and no dietary restrictions.
Treatment with Xarelto.
Most Greeley people have a holiday Thursday and observes on Memorial Day. Will spend the occasion of a variety of activities during business as usual. However, will be most cafes and drugstores. The Tribune will publish its morning and afternoon editions in Greeley, but a number of Greeley stores, including a number of grocery stores, will be closed morning. Banks and all federal, state, county, and city offices will be holiday for the Greeley public schools. There will be no mail deliveries, and the day will be Parkin meet a holiday, and in keeping with the spirit of the session, a large number of Greeley people will attend the annual Memorial Day services at Lynn Grove Cemetery and the Sunset Memorial Garden. Services at the side of the unknown soldier at the Lynn Grove will begin at 8:30 a.m. The problem in the Sunset Memorial Gardens will begin about 1:30 p.m. Another local event will be the annual Greeley High FFA Radio at Island Grove Park with performance at 2:30 p.m. This year's radio has been attracting a record number of contestants that total 115 from other high schools in Weldon and other Colorado counties. With fair weather and prospect to also be picnics in local parks in the mountains, and many fishermen will spend this day at the sport. For some, the holiday will be an opportunity to take work in the yard at the spend a leisurely day at home. Denver Beet Sugar Companies operating in the Rocky Mountains and Western Great Plains states will market an additional $31 million pounds of sugar. This year has resulted in a new allotment by the U.S. Agricultural Department. American beet sugar industry was allocated an additional 58,870 tons in the share of 150,000 ton deficit in the per cane sugar coup. Companies operating in an area which will receive a share of the deficit are the Great Western Sugar Company and American Crystal Sugar Company both in Denver, and then the Hot Spring Sugar Company of Colorado Springs. Beet farmers in Colorado, Nebraska, Wyoming, Montana, Kansas, and New Mexico will benefit growers receive a share of the profits of sugar sales. The three companies are the largest of the 15 beet sugar companies operated in the United States and produce more than half of the U.S. beet sugar. As they have 49 years, American society will summon reverence and remembrance and dead to the nation's wars. Memorial Day was established on May 30th, 1888 by the officers of the Grand Army of the Republic. The Civil War that wrecked the young nation for 4 years was fresh in our mind. Now today has gone. In the meantime, to pause and remember those who gave their lives in all the wars from the Revolution to Korea. Veterans groups, Boy Scouts, and others will march on parades around the country. They will have here the round crack plants fresh over their graves, some almost fresh, some very old. They will bear taps, demon and bugle. Many will feel fresh grief as they lay leaves and flowers on the graves of soldiers and they have loved. For millions of echoes, the holiday will be a great exodus of highways and trains reading for a picnic as usual. London, Harold E. Stasson. Full President expectedly chosen to consult with the North Atlantic Treaty Council on endearment and developments. The New York Times plans were reported running into the trouble there. UN Disarmament Subcommittee adjourned its session here until Thursday while session a U.S. member made up the trip. The subcommittee had that recommended only Monday afternoon. 11-day recess at the session would visit Washington. He had not yet given the subcommittee the new U.S. proposal he had hammered out last week with the President and Eisenhower's personal advice. On to the weather here.
Beautiful right now, because this one ain't looking real good.
71 degrees out temperature at Denver and Greeley and Fort Collins and in Aspen and Grand Junction and Durango, 70 in Colorado Springs, 77 in Pueblo, 65 in Cheyenne, and 71 out in Sterling. For forecast around the country, it'll be mild weather for much of the country. It'll be warm in the Rockies and a front flow system from Florida and
A lot of water.
pressure system allowing warm moisture to envelop most of the Great Plains and dry conditions will continue to prevail. So our forecast for Colorado vicinity will go like this. Scattered afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms otherwise mostly fair Wednesday. Wednesday and Thursday shower activity. Locally moderate southeast border area Wednesday afternoon and evening little change in temperature. Low Wednesday night 25-35 mountains, low elevations 45-55 highs Thursday 70-80 in the north and 75-85 in the south. In Boulder, Longmont, scattered afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms. Otherwise fair little change in temperature Wednesday night and Thursday. Boulder, Longmont 80, 52 and 80 and 5-day forecast. Colorado temperatures average 3.8 degrees above seasonal, little change and turning cooler for most of the week. And widely scattered light thunderstorms most of the day. High 75 locally near 90 southeast, low 25-35 mountains and 45-55 low elevations. And that's been KBTV afternoon news on this May 29, 1957 on Wednesday. Peter Wednesday. Have a good day. I will see you later. Bye bye, buddy.